Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have another affordable makeup sponge comparison video for you guys. So once again, we're comparing the much loved Beauty Blender for $20, and today I'm actually going to be comparing the e.l.f. sponge. So it's this pink sponge. I have a couple different ones. I picked up this one, this like magenta type of sponge, and I previously did a review and comparison for the Morphe sponge, their red one. So I'll link that down below in the description box. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe right now to my channel so you can keep up with all these reviews, demos, and tutorials that I do. It's the best way to keep up, trying to get through so many new products and products I haven't tried before. So make sure to do that, and let's continue watching. So I wanted to get the e.l.f. sponge. The e.l.f. sponge is $4. The Morphe sponge was $7. And the much loved Real Techniques is also $6. Comparing this to the $20 Beauty Blender sponge. Always trying to find a good alternative, a good drugstore, affordable alternative to use. So I had to pick this one up. $4, even cheaper than the Morphe one. So I wanted to know, can we do even better? As you see, they're stained, they're used. I did the review and demo comparison for you guys, so if you want to see that, definitely keep on watching. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with my Morphe sponge, because I feel like this really just helps me see the results better, which is to compare one side of my face, blending it out with the Beauty Blender, and the other side blending it out with the e.l.f. sponge. The Beauty Blender costs $20. The e.l.f. sponge is on the Ulta website for $4, and sometimes the e.l.f. has like even 50% off of their website, so you can possibly get this for $2. So let's start blending. So taking this side of my face and using the e.l.f. sponge and blending it out. I do like the texture of the e.l.f. sponge is really soft. Reminds me of like the Real Techniques sponge. Like the Morphe one, maybe even a little bit squishier too. Not as light, not as airlight as the Beauty Blender though. Nothing has yet to be as airlight as that. I do like that you have the like type of Beauty Blender top side, and then very much like the Real Techniques, where you can kind of get under the eye. That blended it out pretty quickly. I'm using the same foundation, the Milani Conceal and Perfect, that I did with the Morphe, because that's like a go-to foundation of mine. So that's the e.l.f. sponge side. Now let's try the Beauty Blender side. Going in with the Beauty Blender. By comparison, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I feel like this side of my face is with the Beauty Blender, this side of my face is with the e.l.f. sponge. Looking up closely, I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but I feel like the e.l.f. sponge soaked up a little bit more of the product into the sponge as opposed to on my face. I feel like I can definitely see more of that medium coverage from the Milani Conceal and Perfect, with the Beauty sponge really like just kept that covered instead of soaking it up. Whereas especially like right here, maybe where I might have a little bit redness of my face, like around like that cheek area, I can still kind of see like that redness poking through a little bit. Like, I don't know if you can see like I can, but this side just has like way more coverage. Not way more, but yeah, you can see the coverage difference. Right here you still see, you kind of see like that redness. Then looking up close, I can definitely kind of see like my blemishes peeking through a little bit, whereas they're a little bit more covered with this first layer with the Beauty sponge. A little bit lighter coverage. I'm gonna do one more layer. More like, not a heavy one, but I don't know. Let's see how that covers. Around the nose. But yeah, just even seeing the sponge, the Beauty Blender, and then I feel like this one just kept a lot of product. So just blending it out. It blends out really easily though. The the e.l.f. sponge. I do like how easy it blends out the product. It doesn't separate it. It's really quick though. I do like that. But you will probably waste a little bit more product depending on the coverage that you want. If it's really light coverage, like, you might need to go in with an extra layer using this. Now blending out the beauty blender. I don't know if it's just me, plus I feel like the beauty blender maybe holds on to that moisture a little bit better, which is why I like using the sponge. Still feels like more damp than the e.l.f. sponge did. With that second layer, the both sides of the face look a little bit more evened out, unless you look extremely close. So you can maybe just, you know, still kind of see something, but you have to be like up close. But like second layer, I think they both look pretty well evened out. But I did notice if you're a one layer type of foundation type of girl, depending on the coverage that it has, if it's very, very light, as I said, you're probably going to need to go in with two. If it's a medium coverage foundation and you love that medium coverage, you're probably going to need to go in like maybe a layer and a half with that e.l.f. sponge, because yeah, I do feel like it soaks up a lot of the product. But with that medium coverage, yeah, I kind of got the coverage that I liked with those two layers. Let's do the under eye test. I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. Let's see how we like that. Going in with the e.l.f. sponge. I do like the little pointed tip. It's easy to get under the eye. And you probably flip it over too. So there's the e.l.f. sponge. Pretty good. Pretty good coverage. Let's compare it to the Beauty Blender. I feel like there's not too much of an extreme difference with that tiny area underneath the eyes. I think underneath the eyes is actually pretty good, maybe because it didn't require too much blending out, so it didn't have the opportunity to soak up that much product, but just kind of want to keep you guys up close and personal. Let me know if you guys can see a difference. I honestly really can't. It looks pretty good underneath there. I'm just going to set my under eye and we will be right back. So I hope you guys enjoyed that comparison of the Beauty Blender and the e.l.f. sponge. I do like the shape of the e.l.f. sponge, very similar to the Real Techniques, where you kind of get that flat side and then you kind of get that similar side that you would the Beauty Blender. But as I mentioned, for $4, I think this is a good sponge if you want to save even more money than say like the Morphe sponge or the Real Techniques. But I will say the e.l.f. sponge does soak up more product than the Beauty Blender does and the Morphe does. So I think the Morphe is still ranking really high on my list of my favorites as a great alternative to the Beauty Blender. Don't forget to watch that video down below. It's in the description box. But however, if you want to save some money, like it doesn't, the e.l.f. sponge does not completely eat up a lot of product. Like you have to look pretty closely to kind of see. I can notice it just because I got that eye. If you can notice it on camera, probably, but it just means you maybe have to, you know, add on another layer or so, but then you are wasting that money on your foundation, depending what foundation you're using. It could be high-end or it could be drugstore. So that would say, I would say that would be maybe like my only complaints about it. Other than that, I think it blended out really nicely, really quickly. I love the texture of it. It didn't separate my product. It just soaks up a little more product, which you're gonna get with every sponge soaks up product. This one just soaked up more product than the Beauty Blender normally does and or the Morphe does, especially when I did that comparison with the Morphe. Morphe, you can barely tell anything. It looked, oh, it worked, performed almost as well as the Beauty Blender. Whereas this one, I did notice it. I almost didn't want to admit it to myself because I wanted this $4 sponge to be freaking amazing, and it's really good. It is really good. It's just not like this is the best option so far, but it is a really good option for $4. And if you get it 50% off, $2, I think that's a pretty good option for a beauty sponge. So just another option for you guys in case you can't get your hands on the Real Techniques or the Morphe sponge. I would say definitely, you know, maybe check out the e.l.f. sponge. It might be something you might like as well. I hope you guys enjoy these review and demo videos, and especially I know I've been pulling out some sponge comparisons, but there's so many different alternative affordable sponges to check out. So I really want to know what's worth the money, because you are saving money, but what's worth that $7, $8, you know, when you're buying these beauty products. I also did pick up the new Sonia Kashuk sponge. They're marbled ones that they came out with. Sonia Kashuk just did like a revamp at Target. In case you're not familiar with Sonia Kashuk, I love Sonia Kashuk products, and the fact that they came out with different variety of sponges. They came out with like a whole pack of different ones. Of course, it was sold out in my Target, so I did pick up one of their sponges that's around the size of these. So I will be doing a comparison on that soon. Let me know, like this video, comment down below if you want to see that as well. Maybe I'll push it up in the schedule. Got a couple of other products to talk about. And I know people have been commenting for me to try the Shop Miss A beauty sponge, which is only like $1. They have a couple different ones, and yes, it is on my radar. I've been looking through the Shop Miss A websites, but the only reason I haven't ordered anything yet is because a couple of their other products I've been wanting to try out are like sold out. So I'm waiting for those to come back in stock so I can do a whole nice order of $1 products for you guys, so we can really see what's worth $1 and what's really great, because they have so many products for $1. So hopefully we'll get that video up soon as they restock on some products. But I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. Don't forget to subscribe so you can keep up. It's the easiest way. You get a notification and you can, you know, watch them now, save them for later, but definitely a good way to find out what new products are good and maybe what new products maybe you should probably pass on. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.